Alright, what's up guys? Back with another video. So today we are going to be talking about the 3 ways that we use Canva in our self-publishing business and how it can be a great tool to utilize if you aren't the most artistic person or you just don't want to have to pay every single time you need some sort of content created for your books.
It's your favorite thing in the whole world.
I love Canva, and I think that it is a staple for anyone who is doing anything in like the publishing world or anything that requires like creative design, I guess. The reason I say that I feel like it's a staple is because for people, like I said, who don't have that much of a creative ability, which like we don't, so we wouldn't be able to just create things without having some sort of guidance, and that's what Canva is good for. Is they have loads of templates that you can sort of take and tinker with to make it exactly how you want it to look, and also it's very affordable. I think it's like $12 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And compared to things like Adobe Illustrator, which are A, really tough to use if you're not actually a graphic designer, and B, they're super expensive. I mean, obviously, if you can't afford it and you're good at design, that's one thing. Completely go for it. Like, not bashing on it, but just saying for, like, the average person who isn't good at design and who doesn't want to spend that much money, Canva's an amazing option. So
Cool. Let's get on into it then, shall we? So, way number 1 we use it is for low-content books. This is definitely your forte, so I'll let you go through exactly how I use it for low content, or how you use it for low content.
So, what we've got on the screen here, this is an example of a weekly planner that I created last week. I actually made this for a TikTok video, so I just decided to use the same one because it was easier than making a brand new one. So basically, I'll kind of show you guys again just how we sort of use it. So I'll go ahead and just add a page and kind of take you sort of through how I did it. So you can obviously play around with this and just like make different things based on what you want, but I always like to use boxes for like if you're doing a weekly planner like this. You can just kind of you pull in a square element over from the side, and then you can change the color of it, obviously, and then why is it not changing? Oh, that one. So you change the color of it, and then you can also like play with the opacity of it. So if you want it to be not quite as obvious, you can kind of make it like that, which is what I did up top. I mean, I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but then obviously you can add lines and stuff.
And just show you how you do, you can make them all
exactly, so this is
same part, same.
Yeah, so there are 2 ways that you can actually do this with Canva. So one way is by, so first of all, if you're on a Mac, the shortcut for this is Command D. If you're on a PC, it'll be Control C, I think. Sorry if that's wrong, I don't have a PC. But for a Mac, it's Command D, and that basically duplicates it. So the first way that you can do it is you can just literally hit Command D over and over and over again until you have like as many lines as you want. And then you can like bring one of them down, basically. So like the spacing that you would want between the top and the bottom. Then you're just going to, why is it doing that? Sorry. Then you're going to select them all. Get that one and that one. And then, this is a cool little tool that it has. If you click on position up here, and then you click on tidy up, it makes them all nice and evenly spaced. So that's one way that you can do it. And there is another way that you can do it. I personally, that tool is really cool because you can use it for a lot of different spacing things. So like, so you can just use it for a lot of different spacing. But another thing that you can do, and you can do this with any object actually, is if you press Command D, and then you move it to the space that you want, and then you keep doing it, it will do the same spacing. But the reason that this sometimes doesn't work anyways is because if you don't drag it exactly perfect, then it won't fit properly. And also, as you can see here, like this now goes all the way down to the bottom of the page, but you wouldn't actually want it spaced that way, so you would need to, But just a couple examples of how you can sort of add things. And you can always see this even by itself. Could be like, you could just add Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to these, and it would look kind of cool. And then, sorry, I feel like I'm talking loads, but
no, it's fine. This is your expertise, I guess.
Yeah, but then like what I've done here, so you can also just like can choose graphics basically on the side over here, and if you want like a florally sort of design, you obviously wouldn't want it like that because then you can't write on it. So again, you use a transparency tool, and you can just make it nice and opaque.
And you can put it behind the boxes as well.
Actually, the boxes I think at the moment I have opaque as well, so they won't. I think it'll look the same either way, but like even that is okay because you can still write on that and you'll still be able to see what you've written, whereas if you don't make it opaque at all, if you don't make it transparent at all, opaque is like the opposite word, isn't it? If you don't make it transparent at all, you won't obviously be able to see what you're writing on it.
Just to show you how you can actually get the boxes in front then.
So, so here's the trick for this is obviously behind the flowers at the moment. I've made it fully opaque, so you will be able to cover the flowers up if you wanted to. But basically what you can do is, you can right click onto it and this will come up, and you can either...
Layer.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I never actually do this, so I don't do it. So you can click on layer and bring it forward, or there are these hotkeys as well that it shows you. So I always do this. I usually press the command key, and then it's like the square bracket. So if you press command and the square bracket, you can see it moves forward, or back if you do the left square bracket. So forward and back basically between the two. But yeah, so that's how you can sort of move them forward and behind. But yeah.
Also, you can use templates for your background of your pages. So you go onto design and then go onto templates, and you can type in whatever kind of template you want. So you can type in floral template, floral book cover, something like that.
Floral page template maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, cool. So
and then
this
you
is
have
actually,
templates.
You can use
Choose
that,
one,
you can click that. But yeah, it has a lot of different things that you can
And you can do it for
utilize.
any book, any kind of book that you're doing. You can have type in the template that you want, and give you suggestions of potential ones.
And you can also just use this as inspo as well. Like, you don't have to take it exactly as it is. Like, something that we like to do as well. So for example, I think this is a cool design, but I don't particularly like these. So what you can do is just then find a separate design. Like if you just wanted to add different flowers, or so if you go back into templates, you can look for flower.
Back into elements.
If you go back into elements, you can type in like flower outline, and you see how it has all these other options for like flowers. So like if I didn't like these, I could just take these and put them in the same sort of position that they were already in. But obviously this is just an example of how you can sort of play around with Canva and make it your own. I guess that doesn't actually look good, but you get the idea.
And the only other thing that we use it for low content wise is just the text. So if you go onto the text on the side, and then you can obviously choose your headings or subheading or your paragraphs, and then you can, if you just click on one of them, that's it, and then you can choose the font that you want from the list down there.
Canva has an incredible font base. That's another thing that I will say. I mean, you can literally, I'll just show you, you can just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and we've only gotten to the O's,
to get through them all.
Yeah,
there's loads there, isn't there?
And you can do some really cool stuff with it.
So yeah, I guess have a play around with it.
Yeah, so basically that's how you can sort of use it to create pages like this. And then another thing that is a cool thing to note, so let me just delete all these. If you are wanting to make a planner, but you don't want to have to obviously duplicate each individual page, you can literally just click on this button here that says duplicate page, and it will make the same one. And sometimes what I like to do, if you say you want a planner of like 130 pages, but you don't want to actually have to press the duplicate button that many times, you can then click into this grid view here. So now you've got 4 pages. If you hold the shift button and you click the pages, it will select all of them, and then you can use the same command D to duplicate them over and over. So now it will duplicate 4 at a time, and you can just keep clicking basically, and you can see the page numbers going up here. But now you've got 45 pages worth of the same planner page that you took 3 seconds to create. So yeah.
I'm learning a lot today. You know the shortcuts, don't you, on Canva?
Cool. So what's the second thing we use it for?
The second thing we use it for is A+ content. So if you all that's the third one. So it's A+ content. And so if you don't know what A+ content is, on a books page, so we just chosen one example here, Amazon actually lets you put in more graphics onto your page to bulk it out, basically an extra selling point for your book. So your customers can look at it, and then you can entice them to buy it basically. So this is obviously your title, your description, and then just below here, you can have your A+ content. And we'll show you in a bit how to actually where to upload it, on KDP. But it's quite nice. You can see that there's obviously a picture of the book here, and just quite nice appealing graphics that this person's got. It's a nice 3D, really quite cool looking images here with a bit more description. So you can imagine a mum or dad coming on to the page here looking for a book for their child, and you can see that it gives some more explanations of exactly what's good and what activities are in the book. So this is kind of what it looks like. Also,
one thing to note about this, we'll show you the different sort of templates that you can use for this, but you can be really creative with this. Like, they're not all going to look exactly the same. They're not all going to have the same sort of layout.
Yeah.
So firstly, here's how you actually get to it. So inside of your KDP dashboard, you're going to want to click on the marketing tab. And once you are in the marketing tab, you're going to scroll down to where it says A+ content. And then you can go ahead and click on the marketplace that you want it for. Then you're going to go in. So then once you're in here, you're going to want to click on Start Creating A+ Content. You just give it a name.
Of your book.
Just that this is just so that you know what the content is for, because when you have loads of books out, you obviously want to know which one is for which book.
Yeah.
So Add Module is basically going to bring you to this little pop-up that has all of the different types of layouts that you can use, and you can stack these basically. So like you could start with just like an image on top that you want to use, and you would put that in here, and then you could add another one below that's like the 4 images. So just to go back to this one, this is like the big one. This will be this one here. And then you can add text if you want to. You don't actually have to add anything in these boxes. You can leave them blank, and then there just won't be anything for it. So this person's included a description. But then, like, for example, they've done the 3 images here, which is kind of like these ones. And it gives you the exact dimensions as well that you need. So 220 by 220, that's the number of pixels, basically.
So you can go onto Canva then. So once you know kind of what you want your layout to look like, you can then go into Canva and actually create your A+ content. So you just quickly go in.
So I'm just gonna, just for sake of example, we'll just show you guys.
So if you know you want that big one followed by the smaller ones, you can go into Canva and create the big one first of all. It says it's 970 by 600 pixels.
Yeah.
So you just go in here and then you click on, obviously make sure it's on pix here. So you can either do pixel, inches, millimeters, centimeters. So click on pixels because that's what it needs to be in.
Yeah.
And then it's 970.
I actually also, so for these, I like to double the dimensions, because this is for quality actually, because 970 by 60 is the actual size, but like you just have to have the ratios right, if that makes sense. So what's 970 times 2? You're good at math.
1,940. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it is.
I'm not good at math. Is that right? 970.
No. Yeah, that is right.
It is? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so as I said, I like to double them. I mean, you don't actually have to do this. Chris is completely right. You can just use the ones that they do. This is just something I do personally because a lot of the time with A+ content, they make you can only do up to like 3 megabytes or something for the file size basically of the image. So I like to make it a little bit bigger and then compress it so that it looks a bit neater and sharper, if that makes sense, because that's another thing that we see all the time is like the A+ content can look a little bit fuzzy because of the low pixel quality that they make you basically fit into. Anyways, that's a separate thing, but
yeah, so obviously then this is the same size as you saw over here, and then it's really up to yourself then to think about what you want to include in your A+ content to make it eye-catching, to make it appealing to your customers. And you can search templates on in Canva.
So for example, here's a random template that we've chosen. Obviously you're gonna have to change these to make them fit to your actual book. So if you're doing something around like technology or I don't know, let's just say, for example's sake, that this book would be about how to save money on your electricity at home, only because this is kind of already about something with saving energy bills and stuff. So you can basically just change everything. So like you could enter your book title here and your subtitle, and then these can kind of act as like 5 bullet points that you would add, like how to, or what basically what's included in your book that will help people save energy. So, and
try not to include what's actually already in your description. So maybe try and have some other points that wasn't in your description that you can include down here to give your reader just more information about what your book can actually offer them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then for the smaller pictures, if you're going to go down that route, you can come in here and then play around that as we've just done, or as we sometimes do, is we go onto a photo database like iStock, Shutterstock, I also use Adobe Stock to find some really cool images. For example, these down here, you can tell these are probably from such website.
Mm-hmm.
You can download them, you need to pay for them, and then you can upload them to your A+ content. So that could be another idea.
Yep.
But that's kind of the second thing we do is for A+ content. And then finally, the third thing we do is we change our ebook cover to a paperback cover. So whenever we get an ebook cover done, we go to normally either Fiverr or 99 Designs. We have a designer on both of them. And then once we get that ebook cover designed, we then actually change it into a paperback. We do this for the reason of saving money, because a cover designer will charge more money to do your ebook and paperback, we know how to very, very easily just quickly change it into the paperback, so we may as well do that.
Yeah.
So what we do is, actually we've got an example here.
Yeah, so just to add on to that, sometimes designers will literally charge you like $100 just to create the paperback. And I remember when we first started publishing, we were just like, that is so much money for them to literally just sort of slap a back cover on. And so we were like, we may as well just figure out how to do it ourselves. So
well, first of all, we actually need to go to KDP Cover Calculator.
Yeah.
So once you've got your ebook cover design back, what you need to do is go to KDP Cover Calculator to work out the dimensions that your paperback needs to be. So if we just go through this now, so the binding type will be a paperback.
Yeah.
The interior type, well, normally just black and white. Probably black and white. Paper type, either cream or white, doesn't even matter. Left to right, hopefully. Measurements, normally we always do it in inches, and then you need to know the trim size that you want your paperback to be. Usually we either do 5x8, 6x9, or for kids books we do 8.5x11.
This will also depend on the actual manuscript that you've gotten back. So like if you have created in a 5x8, then you have to enter 5x8 unless you're planning on going and changing the size of the manuscript that you already have. So it has to match basically, otherwise the size won't fit.
So let's just say we go for 5.8, and then you need to know the page count as well. This is quite important, otherwise Amazon will come back and tell you that your dimensions are off.
Yeah, and the reason this is important is because obviously the more pages that you have, the thicker the spine of the book will be, so like the side of the book, and you'll see what we mean now when we do it. So if you click calculate dimensions, let me actually just download the template. So once you download it, it will give you, this will be the actual dimensions of your book based on what you've spit out. So the reason that it asks for the page number, as we said, is because this middle part, the spine, is based on how many pages, because like obviously the more, did that just crop it? The more pages you have, obviously the thicker the book will be. So it gives you all the dimensions here.
And so the important one here is the overall dimensions of the book is 10.588 inches by 8.25 inches. So when you go to then Canva, you need to put these dimensions in when you create your design, and that will give you the cover design that you need.
Yeah, so for example, you would just put them in here. So you'd obviously change this into inches and just use exactly the dimensions that are given here. So obviously width is going to be 10.588 and height is going to be 8.25. So that's what you'll enter in the width and the height.
Okay, so what we've done here is we've opened up that template, and all we're going to do here is we're going to drag in the template that we just downloaded from KDP Cover Calculator, and it will just line up perfectly because it's the right dimensions. And then all you want to do here is you want to pull in your design, your ebook cover design, either that you made yourself or that your cover designer gave to you, and you're going to drag and drop into here, and then you're going to line it up to this square part here, and that is the front cover of your book. So we just made an example here. So this is the same example, and all we've done is we've dragged it in, and then we've lined it up to the size here, and then the following parts that we need to do. So that's your front cover. We need to do the spine, and then we need to do the back cover. Obviously this is a very, very simple design that we've done, so you can be a bit more elaborate if you want. But what we tend to do is whatever our colour of the cover is, we just match it to our colour here of the back cover, and then we put some text about either your book, like a blurb in the back, or about the author, the title, and then the spine, we just have the title of the book and then the author name. How you can get the back cover to the same colour as your front cover is, what we like to do is we pull in a box, and then we line it up, or you can just cover it up to the edge here, and then the colour button is here, and then from here you can click on this button here, and you click on that, and it will change it to the colour. If you just click on that, it will change it to the colour of your front cover. So that's how you can get the back cover and front cover the same. Is there anything else you want to add about that?
I think an important thing to note as well is obviously your front cover will be made in a specific way, so you want the back to look consistent with that. So for example, if this is a certain font, you want the font on the back to also match that. Because you are obviously taking this design from your designer and doing it yourself, you might not be able to get the exact font, but you can try. You can either ask your designer what font they use and then just use it within Canva if it's available. It might be because Canva has so many fonts. If not, you just want to find a font that is as close to the original font as possible, basically.
And the only other the last thing I'll say is that when you upload it to KDP, you need to leave room down here in the bottom right hand corner for a barcode.
Yeah, it shows it in the template actually if you scroll down. So it shows where the barcode will be. So it just basically, basically leave that
And
blank.
you want to try and include your spine, this part here, within the white here. And you don't want any important text on your cover to go outside the red box. Otherwise, it might be flagged. It might be cut off when they're printing it. So just be noted that. But that's what the template's for. So use it.
Yeah, I think it actually even says I haven't read these in a long time actually, but yeah, it kind of explains to you exactly what the lines and stuff mean, so that you know exactly what you're dealing with when you're putting it all together. But yeah, you can always the back of the cover is like not it's not super important in the sense that like it needs to be super like fancy or anything like that. Like you can literally have it something as simple as this, because that's generally what's on the back of a book, or you can do a blurb about the author, or some books we've seen on Amazon also even just have like bullet points of what's inside the book. So it doesn't even have to be in paragraph form. You can kind of do whatever you want with it as long as it's professional.
Yeah. No, definitely. So hopefully that was helpful, guys, because that saves us, as you said, for about £100 every time we get a cover created. We can just really simply do it ourselves and make it look professional. So I guess that is the end of the video then. So that is the 3 ways that we personally use, well, mainly you actually, but mainly use Canva for our self-publishing business. So we use it for creating low content books, doing our A+ content for our books page, and also getting our ebook changed into a paperback book as well. So hopefully that was helpful, and do use Canva. We think it's amazing. As always, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, because we're going to be posting videos every single week on self-publishing. So hopefully it'll be really helpful content for you. And we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.